We all have experience in life that we cannot explain. A dream that we had that suddenly becomes real. Thinking of someone that we haven't spoken to in some time, and the next day they call. Perhaps somebody went to see a reader, and that reader had information that they could not have known. And for some, an item or an object that is odd and seems to have its own history. I'm not asking you to believe, and I'm not asking you to disbelieve. All I'm asking is that you join me while we look through the clues left behind as we go in search of what may have happened. This is Reading the Clues. Let's begin tonight's investigation. Case File 83, My Fair Lady. Tonight's case it brings us to the Ashcroft Hotel. For more than 40 years, guests and employees have reported seeing a woman wearing an old-fashioned white gown ascending the hotel's main staircase. Witnesses describe her as calm and silent and seemingly unaware of those around her. Only one photograph has ever been taken of her. Was she someone connected to the hotel's past? A story repeated so often that guests began to expect an encounter. Or is there another explanation entirely? Let's begin by examining the known facts. The first reports of the woman date back decades. What's interesting is that witnesses rarely describe fear. Instead, they describe an almost peaceful encounter. No one reports being chased. No one reports being threatened. And most simply observe a woman walking up and down the staircase as though she belongs there. At this point, we know very little, only that many people claim to have seen the same thing. Now, as additional reports have been collected, a curious pattern emerged. Guests, employees, and maintenance workers all reported seeing the woman. Some accounts were separated by years by the looks of it, and others came from people who had never spoken with one another. Yet the descriptions remained remarkably consistent. Witnesses claim she disappeared near the second floor landing, and no one has ever reported seeing where she goes. For investigators, this is where speculation really begins. Only one photograph exists, and it provides very little evidence beyond suggesting someone or something was present. Researchers have proposed three possible explanations, and we're going to examine each one and determine how well they account for the reports. Our first clue looks toward history. If witnesses are truly observing the same woman, then perhaps she once walked the halls in life. Researchers discovered records of a young woman staying at the hotel shortly before her death in 1891. No surviving photograph of her has ever been found. Some paranormal investigators refer to this type of experience as a residual haunting. The idea suggests that certain events may leave an imprint on a location, replaying again and again and again, much like a recording. Could that explain what people are seeing? Our second possibility requires no ghosts at all. The stories of the woman in white have circulated among guests and employees for decades. Psychologists have long understood that expectation influences perception. If someone checks into a hotel already expecting to see an apparition, they may become more likely to interpret ordinary sights or shadows as something unusual. Were witnesses seeing a woman on the staircase, or were they seeing a story they had already heard? The final possibility is the most difficult to evaluate. Several witnesses reported details that had never appeared in previous accounts. If history and suggestion fail to explain those observations, then we are left with an uncomfortable question. What exactly were they experiencing? At present, there's simply not enough evidence to know. And perhaps that uncertainty is what keeps the story like this alive. At the beginning of our investigation, we knew only three things. People claimed to have seen a woman in white. The reports spanned decades, and only one photograph had ever been taken. Now, we've examined three possible explanations. Perhaps witnesses are seeing a residual imprint from the past. Perhaps expectation shapes what people believe they have seen or observed. Or perhaps there's something occurring here that we simply do not understand. There are many people who are saying that expectation and suggestion provide the strongest explanation. Yet, I find myself hesitating to dismiss the remaining accounts just entirely. For now, case file 83 remains open. Until next time, Keep asking questions and keep looking for answers and keep reading the clues.